Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you are new around here, my name's Shona. I'm a mum of two and I live up in the northeast of Scotland. Today I'm going to be doing my review of our cruise. So we did a 2-week cruise on the MCS Virtuosa. Myself and my husband have done a cruise before. We were on the Independence of the Seas, so Royal Caribbean. So MCS was completely new to us. It was the first time going with the kids, but it was a really good deal we got. We booked it like a year in advance and we got a really good deal. The only thing I think, I will speak about it later, but the only thing I did slightly regret was not booking the drinks package at the same time, because we ended up paying a lot more. We did book it before we went on holiday, but we did book it. We didn't book it at the time of booking the cruise. So I've had quite a few weeks. Obviously we've been back for like well over a month now. So I've had a bit of time to think about it and I've got a list of things I want to talk about. And I'll just get started. So yeah, we went on a 2-week cruise it was like Med cruise, similar to what we did on the Independence of the Seas 8 years ago. It was all Spain apart from Lisbon and Palma. So that was the only 2 places out with Spain. Everywhere else was within Spain. And I couldn't fault the itinerary. It was really good. We had, I think, a day at sea, at port, a day at sea, and then it was like loads of places at port, and then a day at sea, and then we had a day in port and then 2 days at sea and then home. So it was quite well spread out and we got like a nice chunk of like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 days where we were all going to ports every day. So it was kind of nice. So you got a little bit at the start, a little bit at the finish, and then this big chunk in the middle. So as I say, MCS was completely new to us. Cruising is really still new to us. As I say, we've only done it once. But MCS was really new, but we got this good deal and I thought, let's just give it a shot. What, take the kids? It's 2 weeks, want some sun. And it also did not involve going on planes, and we had a bit of when we booked the year that we booked it last year, we'd had a bit of an issue with planes, so it meant we were travelling down. So I'm going to speak very briefly about travelling to Southampton, because I know a lot of people probably couldn't believe that we travelled. A lot of people probably would have just flown or taken the train. With us being up in the northeast of Scotland, we basically have to fly from Aberdeen or Inverness, or we can travel to Glasgow or Edinburgh to Southampton. But I priced everything, every route to take airports, to go from airports. The problem is with going, what most people tell me is that if you're going to go on a plane, you want to go the day before in case you're delayed or it gets cancelled, anything like that. So that would have meant going down the day before, having a hotel. And then people were also telling me potentially could have had to have booked the day after, especially because the flights up to like Aberdeen or Inverness are not like frequent. So we possibly would have had to have waited till the next day to get a plane home. So then that was another night's accommodation. Plus the flights itself, plus the fact it was a 2-week cruise. So we would have needed all the, like obviously it's a lot of luggage for 2 weeks for us and the kids. So adding all that in, we were definitely going to be the guts of £1,000, if not more, for travelling down and back up. So that's why we made the decision to travel by car. We were 10 hours both ways. So it was like 5 hours to the border and then 5 hours to Southampton. We did it overnight. If you didn't see our video, I will link all my vlogs. There's a travel one in the first week and the second week, so it's split up into 3. We did it overnight the first night because of the kids. We thought it would be easier for them to sleep, whilst they did sleep some, they didn't sleep as much as we thought they would, or as much as we would have liked to have. But overall, they handled it pretty well. We had plenty of snacks, drinks, could stop at garages for toilets, and my kids didn't have an issue going at the side of the road if they were really desperate. And so yeah, they handled it really, really well. Actually, really, really well. Better than I thought. You know, there's a couple of episodes where we're like, just go to sleep or just chill out or we'll stop soon. But overall, they did really well. They had their iPads, and they could sleep when we wanted. And as I say, with snacks and stuff. And on the way back, we stopped quite a lot to get breaks and that. So yeah, no, it was actually really fine. It saved a lot of money. Obviously, then we just had fuel and the odd food going down. So honestly, I would do it again. I don't know if Craig would. I think Craig knew it was going to be tough, but I didn't think he would realise it was going to be that tough. When you put on the sat nav and it says 600 and odd miles, it's quite a shock. So yeah, but he did really well, and I would do it again. I wouldn't have any issues. Maybe the next time we go a cruise, the kids will be a bit older. One of the things we could have done was gone by train to London, and then got on another train to Southampton. But when you've got kids, we took the buggy, we had all the cases. I just felt like it's too much, you know. Me and Craig, yes, but not when you've got two kids on top of that, and cases and prams and bags, and I just wanted nice and easy. We got in the car, we got there, and we got back in the car and we got home. There was no faffing. So yeah, I would do it again. And I wouldn't necessarily not recommend it to somebody to do it. But everybody's different. So it's personal preference. I'm just telling you what I think. So going on to boarding and getting off disembarkation. So when we got there, our boarding time had been allocated before. It was 2:00. Now, obviously, because we were travelling down by car overnight, we left plenty of time in case of accidents, in case anything happened. We were just being prepared. So we left at like 6, 7 o'clock at night, and we arrived into Southampton at 4 in the morning. Obviously, if we had this allocated time of 2:00, that meant we had a long time to wait. We were tired. We didn't want to be wandering about Southampton waiting. We parked up the car at the car park, I think about 8:00. I think we'd gotten some food and gotten changed and everything. And then we arrived about 8:00 in the car park because we'd parked at, I should briefly mention this, we parked at ABS parking, which is right at the terminal. We were about £150. Honestly, best thing ever. It is expensive for car parking, but you're right at the terminal. It was easy. You had a ticket, you drove in, you parked up, you took your cases like across the road almost to the terminal. When you came out, you were straight into the car and up the road. There was no faffing, trying to get taxis or trains or here or there. Honestly, highly recommend. ABS parking, so easy. So yeah, we arrived about 8:00 and we went into the terminal and sort of inquired if there was any possibility that we could get on early. And we did. We got on early. They understood. We'd travelled a long way. Had our time been like 2:00 and we'd been in a hotel or something, we would totally have not arrived till nearer the time of 2:00. But you can understand why we went earlier for various reasons. So I wouldn't recommend everybody does that, because if everybody arrives at 8:00, nobody's got to get on. You're going to have a long wait. But I think if circumstances are, you know, you've came early for a specific reason to make sure you're there on time, then yes, it's fine. So just something to think about. So yeah, boarding was really easy. You went into the terminal, you went through security. There was no hassles. We dropped off our cases before security. And we had like maybe, I think in the terminal, once we got like our boarding passes, you then got like allocated a time, a number, and then when they called that number, you went through and onto the boat. Maybe we had a 10-15 minute wait, well, before they actually started boarding, because obviously we were on the boat by 9:30, but obviously there's a point at which everybody needs to get off before they can start letting people back on. So yeah, so easy. I mean, it obviously wasn't busy because it was so early, but even had it been busy, I think it would have still been very easy. So yeah, we got onto the boat, no hassles. We got our cards. You go to your door, you go to your room, and your cards are there waiting to pick up. And then that's you sorted. You've got your drinks package. You can get, whatever. And it was really easy. So that was great. In terms of coming off, we made the decision to self-embark. Now, I think it was like was it the start of the week? It was like the Monday, Tuesday. We got a form through our door. You filled it in to say what time you wanted to get off, or you could self-embark. So self-embarkation means you take your cases yourself and walk off the boat with your cases and all your luggage and all your people, and you can just go. The allocated times means the night before you put your cases out, and then you would walk off the boat with bags and yourself, and you pick them up at the terminal. So I can't speak for how that went because we didn't do that. We walked off with the cases. I think we left our room about 6:15, 6:20, something like that. We got into the queue. I think we had to go to one of the floors, and we got into the queue, and we thought we were going to have to wait a little bit. But honestly, within 5 minutes, they were moving and letting people out. So by 25:2, we were back at our car. We were off the boat, into the terminal, over to the car park, and at 22:07, we were all in the car, packed and driving off. So for us, that made a big difference because we had this huge drive and we were like, let's not get stuck in traffic. There's more people coming into Southampton to go on to the next boats. Saturday, you never know what sort of things that could be on that are going to make it busy. So we thought, let's just go, get away, and not worry about traffic and getting out of Southampton. We knew we might face traffic on the way home, but let's get it out. But actually overall, we didn't really, apart from a little bit of traffic somewhere, I can't remember where, actually overall we had a pretty clear run. So yeah, I really liked self-embarkation. It was so easy. You didn't have to worry about picking up cases or finding cases. It was just really easy. So yeah, overall, very good. I'll move on to the room. This room, we decided to go for an interior. So in our last cruise, we did outside cabin, but it was just a porthole. I'm not even sure can't even think what term that is. But it was just a porthole, just a window. It wasn't a balcony. This one, we obviously went the cheaper route. We're trying to kind of do it on a budget, and we got a very good deal, and it was an inside cabin. First time doing that. So it is, from the first video I did, as I say, I'll link them all below. I did a room tour. Pardon me. We were on deck 11. Absolutely no problems on deck 11. It wasn't noisy at all. I think we were roughly in about the middle, but in terms of like where on that deck, I think we're about in the middle. And no noise whatsoever. It was deck 11 was absolutely fine for us. So yeah, this interior cabin was basically just like a square, and then your bed was in the middle, and so for the kids, the bed sort of came down from the ceiling or the roof, whatever, the walls, and then they had stairs to get up onto almost like these bunk beds. Kids loved it. And there was plenty of storage, I have to say, but overall, I'm not sure I'd want to do it again. I'm not saying it wasn't great or anything like that. It just was very small, confined, no air, no sort of what day is it, what time it is, what's the weather like, where are we? Are we stopped? Are we not? It was a bit like that. But overall, I wouldn't say it was awful. At the end of the day, it was a bed. We spent most of the time enjoying the boat or being off. The only time we're really in the room was when we were sleeping or maybe getting changed or something. So I wouldn't say it was awful. And depending on your circumstances, it's not the worst in the world. You're still getting on this lovely, beautiful ship. You've got, all-inclusive, basically, and depending on if you get a drinks package or not in terms of what your drinks package is. But yeah, it was okay. The shower was a little bit, like the bathroom was very confined. And I think the worst thing for me overall, probably as a mum and a female, was trying to get stuff dried. So like we would hang towels up. I took like hooks and a washing line. So we were hanging things up around the room and in the bathroom to try and dry them. But there wasn't really, it wasn't cold and it wasn't hot, but there's just no air like moving around to get stuff dried. And by the time you used it the next morning, you were 2 days before they really dried, I would say, stuff. So I did miss that. We met people on board who had a balcony, and I'd mentioned this to them, and they did say that not everything dried on the balconies because of the spray from the sea. But at the same time, sometimes like I'll hang washing out. I know it might not dry, but just getting it outside and getting it fresh air, just especially when you're using towels all the time. And to be fair, I took my own like beach towels for using at the pool and stuff, just because we had them and it was kind of nice. The kids had their own towels and stuff. You can get fresh towels, like beach towels for the pool, and you can take them away to the beach and stuff every day. They're different. So there's like white towels for, using a shower and a bath and whatnot. And then there's this like creamy coloured towels that you would use for the pool. So you can get fresh towels. But in terms of like swimming costumes, I think I took 3 swimming costumes each for us. And we kind of rotated them, but sometimes just getting outside, getting a bit of fresh air would have helped a little bit. So overall, I would say the room was, I wouldn't have go and book the room again, but it wasn't the worst. I think Craig got a shock. I had Googled it before I went, so I knew what to expect. In terms of cleanliness of the room, I was really disappointed with that. Like when we first walked in, it had been used. It hadn't been cleaned yet. When we actually got told that our cabin was ready, we could use it, it was still really dirty. Like the bathroom, even the floor still looked a bit like it hadn't been properly hoovered. I opened a drawer to put clothes in and there was like crumbs in the drawer, and I was just like, Craig had to actually go say to the staff, like, come and do it, because there was a few bits it was like, it's really bad, especially in the bathroom and that. And the shower, there was just this, you opened the door in the shower and it just didn't have a nice smell. So that really let it down. So I think overall, there is this sort of like, when we've been looking at reviews before we went for MCS, there was like a lot of people like really slating it. And overall, I think I think a lot of them were really extreme. But what sort of I kind of read and sort of I think I agree with is that it's like 6,000 people on board, but probably not enough staff, to look at everybody. So they're just doing, and the changeover is so quick and they've got so much rooms. They're probably just giving it a quick clean in between, Whereas maybe less rooms, less or more staff, they would be able to like spend like a good hour on each room making sure it's clean. So it's not necessarily the staff's fault, it's just maybe there's just not enough staff. But yeah, that's the room. I'll move on to the food. Food, I was kind of like up and down with it. So I would say 95% of the time we ate in a buffet. One night we ate in the main hall, and it was really good food, but I liked the buffet, to be fair. That was for an evening meal for the night that we were all, it was the formal night, we ate in the dining room. And it was really good food, but a lot of the time I looked at the menus, like before you got the menus in the app, and I found it really fancy. And I don't know, I remember on the Independence of the Seas, we must have ate like 2 or 3 times in the main dining room, and it was just, I don't know, it's quite long ago, but I just felt like when I looked at the menu, I was just like, there's nothing I would actually physically want to eat. It was just too fancy. So I really liked the main dining, not the main dining room, sorry, the buffet. That's where we ate most of the time. Breakfast, dinner and supper and evening. So the way that the buffet works is there's a breakfast slot. I think it's up till about 11 o'clock. I think after 11 you can get basic, maybe pizzas and chips and whatnot. 12, I think it was 12, or was it 1? 12, I think. There was a dinner time from like 12 till 4. And then from 4 till 5 or 4 till 6. 4 till 5, they definitely did an afternoon tea. 4 to 6, you still got like your chips and burgers and pizzas and whatnot. And then the supper, I think, was from 6 till 10. You got like your evening meal, and then 10:30 or 10 onwards till like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, or I don't know, 12 or something. They did like evening snacks. So there was just a constant stream of food in the buffet. You could always get something. There was also a grab and go outside at the pool bar. There was fruit there. Occasionally there was biscuits. There was chips, burgers, pizzas, and like chili con carne. That always seemed to be there. Hot dogs at the grab and go, and you could just take a plate and help yourself. So the food overall was okay. Some nights were absolutely amazing. Some nights I struggled to find things, but I always got something, whether it was a range of, chips and hey, I had a hot dog one night and a burger and whatever. I think the things that stand out, the first day at dinner time when we were on the boat at 11 o'clock, they did this roast beef and it was amazing. There was once a chicken and ham pie, which was very tasty. And I'm trying to think what else there was. There was a cottage pie the same night that was really good. And one day they did the turkey, which was really nice. So yeah, overall, there was no complaints. It was kind of almost just like a bit like a all-inclusive buffet, just what you get. So we'd had that before last year in Tenerife. We knew what to expect. Just some days were just a little bit let down. But yeah, overall, we always got something to eat. The kids always had something to eat. So yeah, that was fine. The drinks package, we got a drinks package in the end. So when we went to book it, the person had told us that the all-inclusive, I can't remember what it's called, drinks package was going to work out like quite a lot of money. And I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Let's have a think about this. But when we so I wish we had kind of known there was 3 packages. So there was like the all-inclusive drinks package, easy plus package and an easy package. I kind of wish he had told us on the phone about the 3 packages, because we ended up booking the easy package, which still gave you alcohol, still gave you soft drinks, cocktails. Strawberry daiquiri was included in that. Craig got Heineken, and overall we were never like paying for drinks. So whilst the drinks package was a lot cheaper, there was never a point at which we had to pay for extra, because we always made sure we were within our drinks package, and we were never like stuck for choice. So yeah, definitely get the drinks package. I just kind of wish he had said, oh, there's 3 different kind of ones. You know, the research that we did after we booked it, and when we were looking into the drinks package, I wish I'd kind of known at the time, because it seemed a huge amount for this all-inclusive one, where had we booked the easy one at the time that we booked the cruise, it probably would have been a lot cheaper than what we actually paid for. So something to think about. But yeah, like in terms of like drinks package, I would 100% recommend that. Like, there is a soft drinks package, so if you're not drinking alcohol, you can get the soft drinks, but water, soft drinks, tea, just like, I was going to say tea and coffee, but I think you get that anyway. I'm not sure, because I don't drink tea and coffee, so I can't remember. But yeah, there's just like, it's just so easy to have that drinks package. It's just like all inclusive, you know, you're not spending a fortune on drinks every time, you know, definitely worth it. And if you don't drink alcohol, just get the soft ones. The kids had a soft drinks package, so they had all the soft drinks. With that, you also get non-alcoholic cocktails. So there was quite a few times they had some non-alcoholic strawberry daiquiris. And then within the soft drinks package, you get the ice cream. So at the bar, there is at the pool, the bar area, you get unlimited ice cream, which the kids were loving. So they were having ice cream all the time. So yeah, 100% recommend the drinks package. I'll quickly go on to the fun pass. I wasn't sure about the fun pass, but it seemed like there was quite a lot of things included in it. So that includes bowling, cinema. The cinema is just like a 3D experience. It's about 5 minutes. It's not like an actual cinema watching movies. There's the MCM F1 sort of simulator, and it includes all the like, oh God, what do you call them? Like the little machines. You use a card for that. If you buy, it's £70 for a fun pass. If you buy it before you go, they top it up, so it becomes £140. Definitely just get one if you think you want to get one. If we go back again, I'm not sure I would get another one. I was kind of on the last day trying to use it up to get it. But I don't know, I think for what we paid for it, it would probably be easier just to buy bowling, I think, or if we really wanted to do it, I don't know. Maybe it would be better on days where, like cruises where it's maybe not that warm, like, I don't know, where you're not outside all the time, but I probably wouldn't be too fussed about it. In terms of like the machines, there was this like, every time you use the machines, you got a token. You can't use one, and then once you get your tokens, there's a machine that you put the tokens into, you get a little ticket, and you potentially get a prize. So there's people have obviously massed loads of tickets over the time. You can't put in one ticket, so if you've got a singular one, it has to be 2 or more, like together, joined together. You've probably seen that at the shows or the fun fair. It's probably a lot. And then at the end of the time, you stand at the end of the cruise, everybody's got the same idea that they want to put all their tickets in the machine to get their prize. And I think I was an hour waiting, and we really didn't have all that much. There was people with bags of tickets. So in terms of that, I wasn't really too fussed about that. I'm not sure I'd worry about a fun pass, but yeah, something to think about if you've got kids or that. It's definitely okay. There was loads and loads of things for the kids to do within that area. So it was like an entertainment area bit. So it's up to yourself, personal preference. Entertainment, there was loads of entertainment on. There was all the like theme nights where they had like stuff on during the day. There was loads of shows, free shows, that the kids could go to. We went to a mind reader. He was almost like I thought it was not a psychic, a hypnotist, but there was a hypnotist, but it's another night. There was a comedian as well. We went to a late show, and there was always like stuff on. We didn't go a lot to the shows. We went to a couple, but not a lot. But like there was loads for the kids. They could take their iPads and their earphones and listen to them. If you want to go and watch something, that's going to be an issue. There, as I say, there's loads of theme nights. So in our cruise, there was a formal night, like a gala night, I think one of them was, where it was almost like Hollywood sort of dress up. There was a space night, but the main ones were like white night, tropical night, glow party. And I think that was it. I'll probably miss one out, but obviously the formal, I think that was it. Yeah, there was loads. We were prepared. I knew sort of what the theme nights were going to be, so I had an outfit for everybody. You can get as involved as you want. If it's white night, you don't want to wear white, it's not a big deal. They're not going to be like, you can't come out of your room, you know. There is lots of people who join in, but there's no judgment on people who don't. It's not a big deal. Totally wear what you want. I think overall the cruise was very relaxed. You could kind of wear what you want pretty much. I think in the main dining room, I think as long as you were smart casual, they wouldn't have turned you away. So yeah, overall, there was loads to do. In terms of the kids, there was absolutely loads to do for the kids. They had so much entertainment, and that seems to be the running theme with MSC. They have lots and lots and lots of kids stuff. It's very, very aimed towards kids' holidays, and there was loads to do. There was like in the itinerary for the day that you got, you can look at it for the app. You got loads of kids stuff to do. I'll just quickly go by the I was going to say the creche, but it's not the creche, like the kids club, that's what I was going to say. My kids went in a couple of times. They weren't very keen, but we asked if they would try it once. And they enjoyed it, they had no issues. The only thing we didn't really use it after that was just because every day we were always doing something with them. So it's not that we weren't wanting to use it. We just kind of always, we were going off the boat with them or things like that. So it was always more like a family, like it's a family holiday. So we're not there to put them on. Different if we had just been at the pool or things like that. But there was just never seemed to be the time to put them. So yeah, but they did really enjoy it. And that you could see that the staff and that did an amazing job and everything like that. And it was very secure in them getting in and out of the kids club. So yeah, totally recommend if you want to do that and your kids want to do that. So last sort of one before I'll run down everything is port days. Port days were really good. It was very clear way to get off the boat. It was pretty easy getting off and on. One thing I would maybe say is sometimes like the night before you went to a port, they put a ticket through your door for like a bus, and it would be like, say, a €10 per person to get onto the bus, to get maybe like from, quite often it was like from where you got off the bus to the actual start of the port, sort of like where you came into the harbour, could be quite a long walk. So sometimes they put a bus on there and it would maybe be like €10, which like for the four of us, that's €40. But quite often, if you keep an eye on like there's Facebook groups, or we got involved in a WhatsApp group as well. Loads of people were telling you like ideas. Like one of the times they had on this bus, which was €10 a person, but there was actually a free one. Another time there was again a €10 per person bus, but there was a bus that was like a fiver. So they're like, it's just finding out that there's, you don't always have to go by this bus. Sometimes you can just walk it, depending on who you're with. So just be mindful of that. If you get these tickets through the door, there might be a cheaper alternative or a free one. So that was fun. Passport days, as I say, no issues getting off and on. I loved all the ports. Probably my favourite one was actually two favourites. Alicante, that was really, really nice. I think it's somewhere that I would like to go again. And Palma, the beach at Palma was amazing. Had a super day there. 100% would go back. So that's my two favourite places. So overall experience, I would 100% go back on MSCS cruises. I think, as I say, there was a lot of really negative reviews in the weeks leading up to our one, and we were kind of getting a bit nervous. We were like, oh God, have we done the right thing? We've paid a lot of money for this, or we're going to be really disappointed. This is like not once in a lifetime holiday, but this is our first cruise in 8 years. It's not something we're going to be doing every year. We don't have that sort of money. It's a lot of money. And we were kind of getting a bit worried. And I felt like the negative reviews were really quite disconcerting for people. I think for everybody who's paid a lot of money, let's not get too inveigled into, I never want to go on an MCS cruise again. Oh, it's awful. That's fine. That's your experience. But other people's experience, I think I don't want to hear that sort of reviews. Yes, tell me that maybe tips about things, or you might hear things about food and all that, and they're sort of like, tips about boarding and that. But honestly, I never had an issue with the staff. We never had an issue with boarding, getting off. I generally had a really, really good 2 weeks. Yes, there was things where there was downfall. The food wasn't that great. The room wasn't that clean. The room probably wasn't the best. Next time I think I go on a cruise, I definitely would take a balcony. It definitely feels like there's not the quite same, like if I can only compare it to Independence of the Seas Royal Caribbean, and they just didn't have quite the same standards. That's maybe a change in 8 years, I don't know, but it just felt like sort of Royal Caribbean's up here in terms of standard, MCS is down there. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, and I didn't have a good holiday. There's differences in each of these cruises. As I said, a lot of it is probably, there's a lot less staff. I think the Independence of the Seas, I think, is about 5,000. I don't know the exact amount. I'm just roughly guessing that. Whereas Virtuosa was like 6,000 people, and there was 2,500 kids on board because it was Scotland/England holidays. So there was a lot of kids. There was a lot of young adults, like teenagers and that. So you can imagine they're making a lot of mess and running about the place and things like that. We never had any issue with any of the kids on board. Everybody was quite, I don't know what's the word, good. I never saw any issues personally. But that was our experience. The kids loved it. I asked Olivia what her favourite bit was. She loved the pool. She's a pool girl and loved going off at Valencia to the, the aquarium and the tuk-tuks in Lisbon. James loved it as well. So yeah, I definitely would go on it an MCS. I would never say no. I'm not sure Rush back to the Virtuosa. Virtuosa cruise, and I certainly wouldn't maybe rush back to a Med cruise, because that's two we've done with similar. I think the Canary ones would be a good one to try. The Norwegian Fords I've heard is really good. It looks amazing scenery, and I would absolutely love to do a Caribbean cruise. That would definitely be up on my list. So yeah, really kind of pretty, I think it's a pretty positive reviews, pros and cons, some negative bits, some good bits. Overall, we had a really good holiday. I think the thing that really made it for us was we met people on board that we got on really well with, the kids we're playing with, and it kind of made our experience 10 times better. So don't be scared to make friends, that's all I'll say, because it does really help when you get friends, especially when you've got kids. They can play together and you can hang out. We had some really good times. So yeah, hope you like this vlog. I have gone on quite a bit, but I want to give you as much information as I can. Go on to the Facebook pages, go on to maybe WhatsApp groups, get in touch with people, get all the tips. Don't be scared to find out information, investigate. Don't go down the mainstream routes of excursions. You can just get off and walk off. There's loads of information out there. Just keep asking if you're not sure. So yeah, hope you've liked this vlog. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button. There has been so much since the cruise vlogs. I'll keep going on with my vlogs. And if you've got any recommendations for for videos, let me know. See you later. Bye.